Hello Mila, hello Jack, and welcome to Storytime with Grandad again. Today's story is Postman Pat running late. There's a registered letter for Mrs. Pottage, Mrs. Goggins tells Pat. You'll have to get her to sign for it. Pat sets off in his van. He's driving along a country lane when suddenly there's an awful clunk. Pat stops the van. Oh no, says Pat, a puncture. Now I'll have to change the wheel and it will make us late. Oh well, I'd better get started. Pat uses Jack to lift the van up so the wheel is off the ground. Then he tries to undo the nuts holding the wheel on. Phew, grumbles Pat, this is hard work. Ah, that's one off. Just one more. There now, Jess, mind out of the way. Pat takes the wheel off and puts the spare wheel on. Jess looks at the hole in the tyre and wonders what made it. Pat puts the wheel with the flat tyre in the van with his tools. Right, Jess, he says, let's get a move on, we're late. Pat calls at Thompson Ground with their post. Hello, Pat, says Dorothy. Come and have a cup of tea, the kettle's on. No thanks, I can't stop, says Pat, I'm late. I had a flat tyre and I've got a letter for Mrs. Pottage that she has to sign for. Dear me, says Dorothy with a grin. Come on, I've got some scones too. But I haven't got time, protests Pat. Pat is surprised to see Mrs. Pottage in the kitchen. She's come to visit, smiles Dorothy. She can sign for it here. That saved me a trip, grins Pat as Mrs. Pottage signs for a letter. I've got time for a cup of tea after all. This story is called The Lost Pet. What's this, says Pat to Jess, stopping the van. In his mirror, he's seen a puppy running along the road behind them. You'll get lost if you follow us, says Pat, stroking the puppy. Move up, Jess, we have an extra passenger. I'll have to find out where she comes from, thinks Pat. I'll go back to Ted Glenn's. He may know whose dog this is. The puppy soon makes friends with Ted. She's a lovely little thing, he says. I saw her chasing your van earlier. Next, Pat shows the dog to Reverend Timms. Sorry, Pat, he sighs. She was following you when you left here. P.C. Selby saw the puppy following Pat too. I don't know whose dog it is, though, sighs the policeman. Even Mrs. Goggins can't help. It was following you when you arrived here this morning, she tells Pat. What, he gasps. Back home, Sarah is pleased to see the puppy. She's looking after it for a friend. I wish you'd told me, laughs Pat. The end. We will see you again soon, I hope. Bye-bye, Mila. Bye-bye, Jack. Bye.